Welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, we shall see how to use the addition property to solve equations in one variable. And the type of equations we are looking at are as follows: x plus a is equal to b. We'll call this as type 1 type of a problem. Okay. So what is the addition property? Let us write this thing down. The addition property is telling us addition property. In this addition property, for all real numbers a, b, and c, if a, b, and c are all the real numbers, then a is equal to b. A is equal to b if and only if a plus c is equal to b plus c. So that is the way we can write this addition property. We will use these properties. We will use this property to solve examples, and that will make it much more clear. If this is a little bit confusing, just bear with me, and we will try to explain this a bit more with some very simple to understand examples. So let's take an example here. Let's say we have an example of this type. We want to solve an equation of this type. X minus 4 is equal to 2. Very simple example. We want to solve for x. And what do we do here? We're going to use the addition property and then want to be able to find the value of the variable x here. What do we need to do? We have, when we look at this equation, we have x minus 4. X minus 4. Let me write that here. X minus 4 is equal to 2. We want to get rid of this negative 4 here. So therefore, what do we need to do? We can write it out in this manner. We want to introduce a term which is equal to but opposite in sign for 4, which will cancel these out, so that way we could have the value of x by itself on one side of the equal to sign. So therefore, let me write this here. So we're going to add 4 to both sides of the equation like that. When we do that, the positive 4 and negative 4 cancels out. On the left hand side, we are left with x by itself, and on the right hand side we're going to combine these numbers. 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. So in the process, we found the value of x as being equal to 6. That is the way we want to be able to find this value. We want to be able to find this value. So we can call this one as step 2. Right? And then once we found the value, we want to go back and then make sure that what we've arrived at is correct. So as step number 3, we're going to check our work. Check it. When x equals to 6, we want to plug it back into the given equation to see whether that is valid or not valid. So the given equation for us is x minus 4 is equal to 2. The value what we found for x is 6. We'll substitute 6 for x. Minus 4 is equal to 2. So on the left hand side, as you can see, 6 minus 4 is 2, and the value what we have on the right hand side is 2. Therefore, the value on the left hand side is exactly equal to the value on the right hand side, and therefore the value what we've obtained for x is exactly correct. That is the way we want to solve an equation, and we are using the addition property to be able to arrive at the solution. Let's take another example. Let's say this time we want to solve an example of this type. We want to solve a plus 3 over 4 is equal to 1/2. Okay, so let us break it down into these different steps, and then we'll be able to explain or arrive at an answer in a much more logical manner. Okay, so we have a positive 3 over 4 which is attached to the variable a on the left hand side of the equation. So our intention is to isolate the variable term to one side of the equal to sign. So what do we need to do? We're going to use the addition property, and then we're going to look for a number which is equal to but opposite in sign for the number 3 over 4. The number which is equal to but opposite in sign for 3 over 4 is negative 3 over 4. So therefore we can write this one as follows: a plus 3 over 4 minus 3 over 4. I'm going to put a circle around this indicating that that is the number we have introduced, is equal to 1/2. Let me write this a little bit more clear. Is equal to 1/2, which is on the right hand side already, and then we're going to write this 3 over 4 on the right hand side as well. As you can see here, whenever we introduce a number on one side, we want to introduce it on the other side as well, because if by doing so we are creating, there is a balance in this. When we add something to one side, we want to add something to the other side as well. If we just add it to one side, then we are creating an imbalance in the equation. We do not want to do that. We want to solve for something. We want to simplify it and solve it, not complicate it. That is our intention. So when we have some numbers or fractions which are equal to but opposite in sign, we can cancel them out. Positive 3 over 4, negative 3 over 4 cancels out, leaving us with, let me write this as step number 2, leaving us with a on the left hand side is equal to 1 over 2 minus 3 over 4, and that is what we have on the right hand side. And now we have two fractions to deal with. We know how to simplify fractions, and the way to do that is as follows, isn't it? We're going to look for a common denominator. The first fraction we have is 1/2. We want to multiply and divide this number by this term by a number, so we get a common denominator. And what is the number we're looking for? We want a 4 in the denominator, so therefore we're going to multiply and divide by 2, and therefore on the second fraction we have is 3 over 4. We'll write it down as is, and now we are almost there in finding the value of a. So we multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, minus 3 over 4. Now that we have a common denominator, we're going to write the denominator once, and we're going to combine the numerator parts. Therefore 2 minus 3, so that is going to leave us with 1 over 4, negative 1 over 4. Therefore the value of a is equal to negative 1 over 4, and that is where we want to leave it. That is our answer. And we can also go back and then check our work. I'm going to write that part here. We want to check if we want to go back and then check our work, and then we'll call this as step number 3. We're going to take the given value, which is a plus 3 over 4 is equal to 1/2, and we want to check our work when a is equal to negative 1 over 4. So negative 1 over 4 plus 3 over 4 is equal to, or let me just write the value which I'm substituting as negative 1 over 4 in red, and the rest of it I want to just write it in with this blacking, so you see the difference here. Now think about it this way: you have a quarter and you have 75 cents. If you were to subtract a quarter from 75 cents, how much would you have? Half a dollar or 50 cents. That is exactly what is happening here. So therefore, if we were to simplify the terms on the left hand side, the common denominator is 4. We combine the numerator parts, and that should equal to 1/2. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2 over 4. That should equal to 1/2. If we were to simplify this, 4 is multiples of 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Therefore, the value what we have on the left hand side is exactly equal to the value what we have on the right hand side, and therefore the value of negative a equals to 1 over 4 is exactly correct. And this is the way we want to solve equations. In my next presentation, we should look at some more examples as to how to go about solving linear equations.